Good afternoon. Welcome to our second session for our summer webinar series. We're excited that you've joined us today. So we're excited for the topic today. We have our OutMatch Leadership and Culture Institute, Transforming the Talent Experience. So a lot of great information to share today. So we appreciate you guys joining us on a Friday afternoon. My name is Zach Berkelback again. So I am VP of our Client Success Group here at OutMatch. We're excited to have you all here, and with us today for our webinar, we have Nikki Cunningham and Rachel Aguilar Vanderheiden, and they are part of our Leadership and Culture Institute, and are really going to be driving the call today, and we're excited to have them here to share some of the exciting things that we're doing with our clients and how we're impacting some of the leadership aspects of our organizations that we work with. So Nikki and Rachel, I will turn it over to you.
Right, wonderful. Thanks so much, Zach, and thanks again for everybody for joining us today on this lovely Friday. So we are extremely excited to be able to share with you about our Leadership and Culture Institute, share a little bit about our goals, our story, and how we partner with our clients to transform their talent experience. So to get things kicked off today, we would love to learn a little bit more about the folks that we have on the call here. So if we can go ahead and kick off our first poll, Zach, and folks on the line, if you could tell us what is your primary role or function within your organization. So go ahead and dial into the poll there on your screen. All right, we'll give it just another couple of seconds here to get everybody in.
Yeah, it looks like we have it's a good mix, about almost half in talent development and half in organizational development. So good spectrum across the board here.
Very good. All right, well, let's go ahead and thanks everybody for sharing that. Definitely going to have some great content to cover for those areas here. And also curious, so one more question for you here before we dive in. If you could go ahead and let us know if you have ever leveraged OutMatch's leadership services or solutions before. Okay, we'll give it another couple of seconds here and wait for some additional responses to roll in.
So it's good and bad. Most no, but a couple of yeses. So good. We're glad you all are here today.
All right, wonderful, very good. Well, thanks so much for sharing with us a little bit about yourselves and kind of the lens that you'll be looking at the webinar today with. So we'd like to share a little bit with you now about who we are here at the OutMatch Leadership and Culture Institute. So although the formalization of this institute is rather recent, I will say that the solutions and the impact that we provide to clients in this area certainly is not. So it's been 20 plus years in the making here in terms of providing value, both in terms of the identification and development of leaders, helping our clients create those high-performing teams, as well as helping organizations build cultures where their individuals can thrive, so where their employees are really just thriving in those environments. And so again, very excited to share with you a little bit about what this formalization looks like and how we can potentially help your organization and support your leadership and culture strategy.
Great. And so before we dive into looking at our leadership solutions, we do want to share a little bit of interesting data with you all. And so you may have seen this graph before, but an organization called Innosight has actually been tracking S&P trends, looking at how the market is shifting. And what they found is that the number of years an organization stays on the S&P list is shrinking. And this has been pretty consistent over the past couple of years. So by 2027, they estimate that the average length that an organization will be on the list is 12 years. So think about that for a minute. And there are a lot of reasons why this might be happening. One theory is that industries are experiencing more disruption. And part of that is due to more startups and smaller entrepreneurial ventures that have a quick rise to success. The other contributor is technology. So technology has drastically changed the way that we do business, and it's given consumers avenues that they didn't even know were possible. So if you think about the implications of that, organizations can no longer rely on having the single best product or service. Given that they have to reinvent themselves frequently, they have to rely more on their people. So leaders are truly their biggest asset. They are the ones that are responsible for picking up minor shifts in the market, sensing the need for a shift in strategy, and innovating what they deliver to their customers. They are also the ones that are responsible for ensuring that through all of that, they're also able to keep the essence of their culture alive. And that is really what the OutMatch Leadership and Culture Institute is all about. So really focusing on helping our clients identify, develop, and retain the right leaders and making your culture a competitive advantage. So in terms of kind of our framework, our team provides consultation around 3 core areas. So leadership identification and development, team performance, and culture. So as you think about each of these areas, you can see they're all critical as we think about individual and organizational success. So first of all, we know that you have to have the right leaders in the right role and develop them for them to be successful. But that alone does not lead to success. You really must consider how they operate within their team. So are you leveraging the strengths of each individual team member to maximize their performance? And finally, you have to consider the culture in which they operate. So are they aligned to your values? Are they satisfied with their work environment? So all of these things, although unique needs of companies, are all interconnected. And we'll talk a little bit more about kind of what we do in each of those 3 areas, but I'm sure you've seen this slide before at some point in working with us. But here at OutMatch, we are really grounded in using predictive technology paired with world-class expertise to create the strongest impact in our clients' businesses. And our approach within the Leadership Institute and the services that we deliver is no different. So we really focus on leveraging predictive technology and then pairing that with guidance from our leadership experts to help our clients, again, identify, develop, and retain their talent more effectively. And I'm sure you all can agree with me here in knowing that data absolutely drives better business outcomes. But we are also firm believers that data can be used to humanize the world of work. So really having a positive impact on the individual employee experience. So here within the Leadership and Culture Institute, we leverage data to help enable individuals to bring their best self to work each and every day. And what you'll find in working with us and our team is that we are really passionate about this. And we have kind of 4 core teams that I'll share with you all here today. So the first kind of bucket you see here is our in-house leadership experts or practitioners. And these are the folks that provide consultation and really help our clients scope out the right solution. So they typically have extensive experience in leadership development, and they do work across our clients to ensure that they are getting the most value from our leadership solutions. And we also have a very large network of trusted OutMatch leadership coaches. And typically these coaches have around 20+ years of executive coaching expertise, practical business experience and knowledge, as well as a master's or PhD in kind of a human behavior related function. And none of the work, of course, would be possible without our operations and program management team. And they are really focused on building a seamless experience for our clients as well as their employees. And finally, wanted to highlight the fact that we also have research and university partnerships. So as I mentioned, here at OutMatch, our solutions are really grounded in best practice research. So we have a dedicated research and talent analytics team, and then we also partner with the University of Albany to continuously conduct academic as well as market research. So obviously we know the industry evolves and our solutions must evolve with it. So let's talk a little bit more about how we partner with our clients. So the first kind of bucket that we spoke to was our leadership solutions. And there are three kind of core areas that we support related to leadership. The first being leadership bench strength. And the need for leadership identification and development solutions isn't new, but there is certainly an increased emphasis on it for a number of reasons. So first, we know the number of vacancies is booming as many leaders move into retirement. Companies need to be prepared and looking for ways to plan for this more effectively, ideally using some objective data. So our leadership bench strength offering provides organizations with a deeper understanding of their talent pool, allowing them to effectively plan for the future and make better talent-related decisions. It also brings objectivity and efficiency to an often complex, messy, and sometimes subjective process. So we've had many companies leverage this type of solution for either talent review or succession planning processes, and have seen a lot of success. We have a large hospitality hotel client that has leveraged this process now for a few years, and what we found is that year over year they're seeing increased performance improvement in their hotel managers. They're also seeing improved business outcomes such as customer satisfaction as well as their NPS scores. So that has been a hugely beneficial process for them, and certainly something as you think about your succession planning processes or your high potential talent pool, this may be something you all would like to consider.
And as we think about the next kind of core offering within our leadership suite here, and that would be our key leader identification. And so, we know that 40% of leadership transitions fail, and that's not only costly from a financial standpoint, but also has some negative ramifications for those leaders that were selected and then failed. So our clients and organizations are seeking out a more effective way to not only identify but also make sure that they can prepare leaders for that transition. So this leadership identification offering really helps organizations make decisions based on those strategic needs and leveraging the data to do so. So a couple of our clients, 7-Eleven, Bridgestone, to name a few here, are leveraging the leadership simulation as part of this process. And this is allowing them to identify the readiness of these leaders based on demonstrated behaviors. So this is something that's not always visible, especially if you think about external candidates. This is a really key piece of data for them. And so as a result, our clients are able to bring in the right leaders for the right role with confidence. But we do know that identifying the right person is not that silver bullet. That's not enough to stop there. So leadership development is our third kind of core offering within the leadership suite here. And so the goal here is really to help our organizations or our clients to grow and develop their talent, which also has impacts on retention as well, which we know is very critical. And unsurprisingly, investment in leadership development has been steadily increasing over the past 5 years or more, and is projected to continue in that direction. So development is certainly something that's becoming expected from individuals, from their organizations. And so as part of the leadership development offering here, we do have solutions both at the individual as well as the group level. So on the individual side, things from even just putting the targeted kind of daily development into the hands of the individuals themselves, into even more kind of in-depth assessment and coaching approaches as well. Additionally, on the group side, we do have some group workshops that we offer as well. And through each of these offerings, we've seen tremendous results with our clients in terms of improved performance, increased engagement, and improved team dynamics as well. And so one of the things we'll talk about here in a little bit is our Elevate workshop, which is one of our group offerings, and something really exciting to share with y'all. So we'll be opening it up to some open sessions here at our Dallas office. And so this will be a great opportunity to get a little bit of a taste of kind of what this is like, and potentially, see if it's something that would make sense to bring on site for your organization.
All right, and As I mentioned earlier on, we know that individuals operate within teams, and the dynamics and effectiveness of their team members has a major impact on overall success and retention. And we do know that organizations are becoming flatter, more lean, and more collaborative by nature, which is really exciting, but it also comes with a lot of challenges. It's something here, quite frankly, at OutMatch, we've experienced ourselves as we continue to grow. So organizations are really realizing the importance of building effective teams and looking for ways to do this more systematically. So one of our offerings is called a team audit. So we really use data to provide organizations with insight into how their teams are operating today. So how effective are they in achieving results? And then really using this insight to maximize performance. Our team transformation solutions help our clients understand the unique strengths that each of their team members brings to the table, and then how they can leverage this information to maximize potential, overcome team challenges, and at times improve team dynamics. And then, as I mentioned, we know that organizations are looking for more systematic ways or solutions to facilitate cross-functional collaboration. So we here at OutMatch have the data and insights to help organizations in building the cross-functional teams that are needed to break down silos and enable innovation.
All right, now jumping into the third of the key areas of focus for the Leadership and Culture Institute is that of culture. So, we know that culture is critical to an organization, both to the individual performance as well as engagement and retention of employees. And if done right, this is something that can truly become a competitive advantage for your company. And so in the ways that we partner with our organizations, with our clients, we help them to understand where are they today, so what does our current culture look like, where do they want to go, and then provide guidance on how to get there. And so for the first of our offerings, culture assessment, we help organizations define what is that intentional culture that they'd like to have, and making sure that it's aligned to and driving their business strategy as well. So we do this through interviews, facilitated sessions. The next of our offerings here definitely builds upon that, and that is that of culture transformation and change management. And this is a data-driven approach to really provide that step-by-step guidance and support for driving culture change throughout the organization. So as part of this offering, we provide tools to managers throughout the organization in the field that can affect change where they are within the company. And the last of our offerings in the culture suite here is our Leading to Engage workshop. And so this is an offering that really provides leaders the fundamentals, around team engagement. And something that's really neat here is that it incorporates their own culture and engagement survey results into the session and into that process to really make it something that's tangible that they can walk away with kind of practical, applicable next steps. Okay, so as we think about kind of those three key buckets, there are a couple of things that we think really differentiate our approach within the market. And the first of those is having this multi-layer focus of leadership. So, we understand that there are these three levels with the individual, the team, and the culture that all have an impact on the overall success of any organization. The next of kind of these differentiators is really taking that data-driven approach to development. And so the ability to create tailored development experiences and through a scalable process as well. So that's something that our clients have, really been able to get the benefit out of. That has been a struggle through other methods there. And lastly, we have our solutions being innovative yet practical. So here at OutMatch, you're probably familiar with, we are constantly trying to innovate how we're doing and staying up on the latest here, but also making sure that we're focusing on the solutions that have a proven positive impact with our clients. So both at the individual and organizational level.
Great. And so we wanted to spend the last couple of minutes here sharing some news. So as Rachel mentioned earlier, we actually do have some upcoming leadership workshops. And our primary kind of core offering that we'll be having on site is called Elevate. And so before I dive into the details of that, I do want to just kind of set the stage in terms of our approach to leadership development. And so as you think about typical leadership programs and where they break down, there are a number of core areas. So first, most programs take this one-size-fits-all approach. And so if you think about typical leadership training or classes, they're typically focused on a specific skill set. But we know that each person and each leader is unique, and they bring a unique style, unique preferences to the table that need to be considered. So the second area where we typically see some breakdown is a reliance on some type of epiphany or paradigm shift to occur as part of a leadership program. And so we know that, there are absolutely training programs and organizations that can create really powerful experiences. And that can be great. However, what we find is that those don't always have a lasting impact. So you don't see momentum occur perhaps 1 month, 2 months, 3 months after the workshop experience. Another kind of core challenge that we see is that real life happens, right? And so they may be super inspired leaving a program, but then they get back to work and they can't figure out exactly how to integrate this into their day-to-day experiences. And another kind of key challenge is that sometimes leaders walk away trying to focus on moving big rocks. So imagine somebody that, their innate strength is not necessarily negotiation, and they decide they want that to be their core strength. That's a huge shift for somebody to make. And so our programs are really focused on building healthy leadership habits and leveraging some of the low-hanging fruit in terms of their strengths. And then finally, at times, leadership programs are not always aligned to the cultural nuances or shifts that are happening within an organization. And so our programs are really focused on how can, again, leaders build healthy leadership habits and adapt to the needs of the business. And so our approach, and I've kind of highlighted these things along the way, is we really look at leadership programs as being a journey, right? And so just attending a 1 or 2 day workshop likely is not going to do the trick here. And so we use a number of different tools to help make and create the most impactful experience. And so, if you think about something like trying to get in shape, it truly is a journey, right? You're not just going to get in shape and you're done and you're good the rest of your life. And so if we think about this as kind of a fitness journey, where you usually start is you have to understand where you're at today. So really having an understanding of your current health. And so what we leverage as part of our workshop experiences, as well as our broader leadership development programs, is we always start with, let's benchmark the current state, where we're at today. And so we leverage assessments such as a 360 assessment and personality assessment to really understand what are the unique strengths and gaps of that particular person. From there, we know that if you think about something like getting into shape, a personal trainer can be highly beneficial. So having that individualized support. And so our programs typically leverage some type of coaching experience. And that's something we actually incorporate into our workshop experience. And so as part of our workshop, we have table coaches, and each participant goes through a one-on-one coaching debrief. And this by far, we've heard, has been the most beneficial component of the workshop for our participants. So really leveraging that coach to maximize the impact and support their individual needs. And then we know that if you're trying to get in shape, you can't just stop there. You actually have to do some exercise. And so in our workshops, we absolutely incorporate skill building activities. And so as part of the workshop experience, they go through things like actually giving people feedback, receiving feedback, things of that nature to really focus on building healthy leadership habits. And then finally, we know that the workshop experience should not end there. And so we're really focused on sustained growth. So if you think about getting in shape, again, you can't just work out once and then hope that everything goes well. What research finds is that people that have some type of accountability partner or have a clear action plan are more likely to stick to that. And so we use that same principle as part of our leadership offerings as well. And so participants walk away with a very clear action plan, a way to measure progress and calibrate their action plan over time. And so our Elevate workshop itself, again, is really focused on elevating leadership impact through building self-awareness and the development of healthy leadership habits. And so it is a 1.5 day workshop. And again, we really leverage assessments and individualized coaching to target their individual development needs. And so the bulk of kind of day one is focused on helping them work through their assessment results and build self-awareness. So really giving them some deep insight into what is my leadership approach, what has influenced my approach over time, and what unique strengths and potential opportunities do I bring to the table. They then go through the individualized coaching experience where the coach helps them interpret that even further and helps them think about what do they want to do with that information. Now that they have all of this great feedback, what is going to be most impactful for them to focus on. And then day two is really focused on some of the skill building opportunities. So really practicing giving feedback, how you build trust with team members. So a lot of great opportunities for both new as well as experienced managers to focus on, as a leader, how do you build and engage, build trust and engage your team members. So the target audience that we have for this offering is usually mid-level or some high potential entry-level leaders. And I won't go through all of this. I know we're coming up on time here. I won't go through all of this in depth, but we've had some really great feedback that we've gotten through this offering. So most leaders have found this incredibly useful in understanding their strengths and opportunities. They believe that the workshop will help them develop the key leadership behaviors that they need to be successful. They believe it will have an impact on how they lead their team. And 99.7, so there's one person, but 99.7 would recommend this course to other leaders. And another thing that we do is we really want to ensure that there's proven sustained impact. So we send follow-up surveys after about 3 to 4 months to understand what have they done since the workshop. So definitely have seen leaders actually implement specific actions, believe that the workshop has positively impacted the way they engage with their team members. And then managers, even after 3 months, have started to actually see a difference in their leaders' behavior, as well as their ability to show compassion and empathy to their team members. So really exciting stuff. And as Rachel mentioned, we've got some upcoming sessions, so we'll send some more information about this. But we do have some sessions coming up in September, October, and December here at the Galleria in Dallas, or our OutMatch office. We'll send out the pricing, but we do have some price breaks for multiple participants. So I would recommend, if you're interested in this, we would want you to talk to your customer success manager just to see, again, if you're interested in sending a larger group, what we might be able to do for you there. So really excited about this. Any questions?
We have not had any questions come up, but this is great. This is great information, and hopefully all of you can see kind of really the power that's in this, right? These leadership positions are so critical to your organization's success. You've probably seen that on a daily basis. So really investing in understanding who those leaders are and developing them is what we've seen just great success with the current clients we work with. So if you have questions, we definitely want to dive into this deeper with you. Feel free to reach out to your client success manager. We can go from any direction, right, to dive into this deeper, or just to help you understand where do you start, right? What do some of these clients do, and how can we help you to start down that path to think about leadership development and really building your culture to get great outcomes. So we want to thank you again for joining today. We're very excited to have you here on a Friday afternoon. Just want to remind you all that next week we have 2 more sessions as part of our summer flash webinar series. So next Tuesday, we'll be diving a little bit more into this topic of culture, right? It's a hot topic right now. So we actually have a tool as part of our offering now that really helps measure some of those things that Nikki and Rachel were talking about. Just what is your organizational culture today? Where do you want to go? What are some of those gaps so that we can help you get there? And then on Friday next week, we're going to be going through our automated reference checking tool. So how can we really automate that process that has historically been a very manual process, very time-intensive process, to make it faster on your recruiting team and just easier on your candidates all around. So we hope to see you all there. We thank you again for joining today. Have a great weekend, and we will see you next week.